Hi there and welcome to the show. I'm Nancy Guppy, coming to you from Fountainhead Gallery on Queen Anne Hill. Founded in 1996 by Ron and Sue Peterson, Fountainhead is a lovely light-filled space with rotating monthly exhibits of work by local, national, and international artists. The gallery's current show, Juxtaposition by Jesse Hitchens, features gorgeous and evocative paintings of urban and natural landscapes found in and around the Pacific Northwest. Jesse says that his goal in painting is to, quote, create a feeling of memory, the experience we have in a certain place and time. And one of my favorite things to do in a painting is to leave room for interpretation to the viewer. Juxtaposition runs through March 31st. For information on upcoming exhibits and on the gallery's live music series, go to fountainheadgallery.com. We have a great lineup for you, including bench jeweler Shayna Egan.
Working with my hands is something that always was sort of innate and natural for me to do.
A short list of groovy art events. And music plus a surprise from the Black Tones. And we'll begin with a quiet and powerful artist residency on Vashon Island.
Vashon Island has always had a place in my heart, and I'm not actually sure why, except that it just is what it is. It's some kind of special sauce. And I have for a very long time wanted to start an artist residency on Vashon Island. It's not about doing it anywhere. It was really very much about doing it here. And this house that the residency is in and the property that it's on seemed like it would work. This house is kind of strange. It meanders. It has large community, open space, shared space. And so it's turned out to work really, really well. It did happen in the middle of the pandemic, and it came together much faster than I thought it would. And in May of 2021, we opened with our very first resident, and we've been going ever since. By the end of 2023, we will have hosted more than 110 artists of varying disciplines from all over the country and some from other parts of the world.
I've only been to Vashon Island as a day tripper previously, and it is just so wonderful to have an extended period of time to engage with this magical place. I was drawn to Vashon Island because of its edges, that it's this beautiful rural environment in very close proximity to the urban center of Seattle. And there are beautiful edges between land and water and tides and time. The work that I'm developing here examines the way that signals, light, and sound move through the landscape and waterways in and around Vashon Island.
I never think of my music as something directly related to a place, and it's hard to know exactly where it comes from, but the space that I'm in sets the tone for my entry into the music. This thing that I'm starting to write, I think I'm writing it for a specific pianist, but I'll find that out as the process of the composing goes on.
It's because of the residency that I now know there's a Vashon Island. I've never been to this area, so it was all new for me. And I'm from the Netherlands. I'm absolutely a water person. And so for me, just to be on an island, just the idea of it and to be surrounded by all this water, for me, it's very inspiring. I love it.
This space is my world for the past few weeks. I look out over Quartermaster Harbor. I feel like the open expansiveness of this view above the desk in this large window, it just helps inspire openness and expansiveness in my own writing. I've been thinking about my childhood and writing poems inspired from my childhood in Southern Virginia. And so this is a poem, it's an ode to a box turtle that I kept as a pet. Virginia, covenant quiet, you were a first love. How you could shut yourself in your own body and wait out the world. How you would try to get back home for years, but we can learn to leave what crawls entangled in tall grass, solitude, and early autumn rain.
I think being around artists every day, I feel like I learn something new. Every day, I feel like I've learned more about myself, how we create family with people that you've never known, and you realize we live across the world or across the country from each other, and we have so much in common. And I also feel like a proud parent, when they do really well, or when I see on social media that they've had some big success that they're really excited about. My life on this island feels huge because I learn so much from all these people.
So here you'll notice this incredible music stand, which is a painter's easel that one of the artists here helped me mount and put together, Nelica. And this is just one of these technical issues that a composer faces, is that you have a keyboard, but you need something to really press against so that I can just be writing and then push against it. And a flimsy music stand just doesn't do the same trick. So this is the concoction we've come up for this studio.
I really am excited that there are other artists here, in particular non-writers. The fact that there's a composer here and then visual artists. I like to have the conversations in the evening when we're all cooking dinner about what they're working on, what their process is like, what they're learning.
One of the things I love most about my life, and I do love my life, is that I have a life that revolves around art. I make art, I see art. I just feel incredibly fortunate to be able to offer this residency to artists of all kinds. I was raised in a family that was very philanthropic. I'm also Jewish, and there is an overarching umbrella of both philanthropic ideals and the idea of tikkun olam, which is to repair the world. I really tried to approach each resident's experience here without expectation. What I want to make sure is that they feel comfortable and safe, and that they have the time and the space to do whatever they need to do. There are people who arrive here exhausted, just completely spent from whatever's been going on in their lives or whatever it took for them to get here. And there are other people who arrive just raring to go. So I think it's been really important to not have any expectation. That said, if I had any at all, they would always be blown out of the water. People make incredible art here, pretty much without exception. The real experience of them being here and being influenced by this place and making work here is always kind of magnificent.
More information about the Vashon Artist Residency is on their website. And see more of Kathy's work at kathysarkowskistudio.com. The Blacktones, one of Seattle's great local bands, is comprised of the brother-sister duo Eva and Cedric Walker, with Eva's husband Jake occasionally playing bass. Well, Eva and Jake recently celebrated the birth of their first child, Hendrix Michelle Uitti. Yes, that is Hendrix as in Jimi Hendrix. So in light of this wonderful news, here are the Blacktones from 2019 performing Mama, There's a Spider in My Room. Follow the Black Tones on Instagram, Bandcamp, and their website, and catch Eva on KEXP's early show, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. Next up, metalsmith and maker Shayna Egan.
I'm Shayna Egan. I am a jewelry maker and designer, and I work as a bench jeweler at Green Lake Jewelry Works. We primarily here work with precious metals, so platinum, carotid golds, and silver. I don't think it's greatly different than other media. The fundamentals are the same, so composition, form, function, all of that remains the same. I was always encouraged to experiment and draw, so from the time I was very little and could hold a pencil and playing with Play-Doh, of course, things like that. Working with my hands is something that always was sort of innate and natural for me to do. Gosh, I've done a little bit of everything. Guitar tech is probably the most influential job I had just because it was very early in my career and kind of set me up for what I do now. I did that for almost 10 years. During that time period, I spent a lot of my free time playing in bands because it was the mid-90s, and that's right when women were starting to become super visible in the arts in that way. And I picked up a guitar and taught myself, and then was lucky enough to get offered the job at the guitar shop. So it lent itself naturally to playing with a lot of bands. In 2016, I moved to Seattle and then went straight into bench work. Design was always of particular interest to me, just in general, like being in the world, working with objects or tools and coming across things that aren't designed well and being frustrated with the way they function or didn't function, and that being such a large part of what metalsmithing is. It sort of overlaps between design, conceptual art, and craft. It is something that's existed for hundreds of years and is done essentially the same way for the entire time it's existed. You heat metal up and you bend it and move it and push it back into shape and shove stones into it. It's endlessly complex and there's always more to learn. In terms of teaching, I enjoy it because I am such a nerd and I am so passionate about it. I love watching someone get excited for themselves when they finally get a hold of a skill that they've been struggling with and they're like, no, I finally get it. And it happens and then they can just move forward with it. You think it's gonna go faster now that you've gotten a couple in there?
I'm hoping so, now that I've kind of figured out how to get them in there and what to look for and yeah.
We work at a nearly microscopic level. I mean, we work down to, especially when we're setting stones, you know, some of the stones we set are 0.7 millimeters in diameter. That's about the smallest that we go for something like a hidden halo next to a center stone. My particular favorite is restoration work, so I'll take something that is sometimes more than 100 years old and refurbish it in a way that makes it possible to wear again for a whole nother generation. And I think that's an incredibly special thing to do for someone. I think it's interesting because it's something that is such an intimate experience for the person that is asking for the object. It's something you wear in your body sometimes every day, and so that way I think it's different than other arts. I think that's one of the things that was most brought to my attention being in school, watching people grapple with how to combine craft versus fine art, where fine art is typically like in the vein of conceptual art, so lots of big ideas and then trying to make that come through in the object, whereas craft disciplines are more oriented towards the function of something. Finding an interesting balance between those two things and getting them to go together it's a puzzle and you have to figure it out every time. It is endless. You can keep going deeper on every level with it. You know, people spend their whole careers just dealing with gemstones or just with diamonds, or some jewelers are just engravers. They just embellish the surface of jewelry. I love to fabricate, so I love to take, you know, wire or sheet and turn it into something else, and in that way it is wonderful and terrible because you can never know all the things, but you always get to learn more.
follow Shayna and see more of her work on Instagram. And now, a short and snappy calendar of events. Uncommon Threads, a fiber arts experience curated by Mary Adams and currently at the Linwood Event Center, showcases 6 innovative fiber artists from around the world. Using a wide array of natural and synthetic materials, including recycled plastic, felted wool and silk, yarn, and dyed cheesecloth, these gorgeous artworks are a feast for the eyes. Uncommon Threads runs through June 14th with a Meet the Artists in-person event on Tuesday, April 9th. Greg Laschow's YouTube series, The Uncertain Detective, tells the story of a filmmaker struggling to make a low-budget comedic TV series about a detective who investigates unusual cases. To save money, the filmmaker casts himself and his real-life wife and son in the series with funny and often moving results.
Ooh, maybe you kill your husband with a big knife and then we see the blood dripping down.
No, I'm not
body.
doing it. It's too gruesome.
Come on.
No.
Watch the series online and attend a special live screening on Monday, April 22nd at SIF Center. And finally, the mega-talented Stephanie Ann Johnson, currently on tour with their 2023 release Jewels, plays 2 nights at Demetrio's Jazz Alley, April 9th and 10th. Don't miss this rare opportunity to experience one of Seattle's great musicians on the stage of one of Seattle's best live music venues. And that's a wrap. Big thanks to Fountainhead Gallery for hosting us, and a reminder that their current show, Juxtaposition, closes Sunday, March 31st. Among the Wildflowers, oil paintings by D. Jordan Parietti opens April 4th, and mark your calendar for the live in-gallery jazz concert featuring vocalist Eugenie Jones, happening Saturday, April 13th. And we're going to leave you with a charming educational music video created exclusively for Art Zone by Eva Walker, Jake Uitti, and their sweet baby girl, Hendrix Michelle. So enjoy, and we'll see you soon.
Hendrix, it's time to practice the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, and Y, and Z. I was 12 years old, sitting in church, bored out of my mind, when I decided I'm gonna do something better with my time. So instead of sitting and listening to the choir sing another verse, I decided I'm gonna learn the alphabet in reverse. Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, E, D, C, B, A is how it goes. Now you know. Now you know the alphabet, forward and backwards. Next time, won't you rap with me, and then we'll both be nerds. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, and Y, and Z. Good job, Hendrix.
Good job.